So since this is two clones, it gets to have a third clone that's in the Triborg. So the Smoke and Noob Saibot, their clone is a robot, and it's the cyborg version of Smoke. And so for this guy, he's two things right here. If he had a robot version of himself that was a clone of both of the two things that he currently is wearing, then that would be the Triborg completion of this bug-like infection that Superman got powers from, where he also gained a second clone that wrapped over his suit, because he just made this out of cotton or something special that superheroes have. And then this alien came and formed over his costume that he made. And so this alien is a clone that is not Spider-Man. He doesn't control his consciousness when the thing goes over him, because it's a clone wearing his body as a suit. As opposed to the Incredible Hulk, where Steve Banner did something to ingest, and then he turned into the Hulk from inside out. The same way as Bane and Superman, when Bane hits the fluid juice and he gets the thing going into him, that makes him the powerful Bane character. It's the same thing as Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, except Dr. Jekyll just took it through like an antidote serum orally. And what a Wraith is, it's a clone inside of like a puppet fleshed out body, but it's not like a soul inside of it, it's just a Wraith that's a demon. And this Spider-Man is got part of the Noob Saibot, because he's a Wraith of Bihan, the Chinese man. But then this guy has a part of in the Spider-Man lore, it's called the Venom, and when he gets his clone, his Venom comes outside of him, as opposed to Dr. Hyde and Jekyll, where they drank something that changed their glands inside of them so that they changed. He's putting on something outside of him to change into a whole different clone. The Triborg relation would be no different than if there was like one cord, and it could be like equivalent to the headphone jack where you plug in the headphone jack. If that was equivalent to a Blu-ray player, it could be the same exact thing, but just have it combined above it or below it or back on its side. Just like the superhero of Multiplicity Man, his superpowers is he has a certain amount of things that look like him. If a beetle had a superpower like Multiplicity Man, it would make for its fingers to be like a badger's fingers, and it would be a beetle the size of a badger. And its fingers would be all these little beetles that would be its multiplicity, and that was its clone of the Triborg of New Saibot, Smoke, Cyborg, and then the New Saibot, Smoke, and then the other, the Cyborg did the thing. What if a beetle was the same three characters as a cyborg, or the tri-cyborg that work together as just one thing? It's just like in the Bible where they have like the different wings of the aliens in Ezekiel, and that's all that the New World Order is. Even if they're aliens dressed up inside of a like machine, it's just what Transformers is. It's the more that you think of yourself. And you die as like a fetus at some position where it wasn't irregular, and that's how you succumb to your thing. And it's usually having to do with chest internal, because that's how you squash a bug. You squash it out. But if a beetle had like a cyborg beetle as its clone, just as Noob Saibot's clone is a cyborg named Smoke. So a beetle could have this if it was like a possessed alien from a different place, from a demon doing like an avatar clone. But however you die with like your circumvented injury is a shape no different than that compared to the beetle. And that's what you're dodged upon. What if each of these were like nerve endings and brains, ability to move water, and these nerves were able to make water motion around stuff that's heavy and carry it up and pick it up and rotate it. And then just with the acid spit that Reptile or the Alien in the Alien vs Predator movie does, where it spits, it's like a cobra, but it has a loogie at the end, and it goes into like a bullet, because the cobra can spit the venom fast. So Alien with that would be, all a snake is just a spine, so the spine of like the Alien, if it had an exoskeleton that can spit faster than a cobra could, it would be like a sniper rifle. Fucking venom coming out of its mouth, and that's what a dragon does with fire, and it fucking blazes down shit. The clone definition is meat when it was a Mortal Kombat character born without any epidermis. It's just like a puppet. If everyone's a personal bubble, you put a piece of paper inside a personal bubble, but it's like a puppet. It's just on a lower dimension, but it'll start wiggling and look like it's in its own environment. And an actual puppet, even though it's a paper, you can see the difference. But if it's in its own environment, like a giant crate, and it's all lit up, it would be looking as if you have your own personal bubble to heal you. But it would be having its own personal bubble to be like Pinocchio and a real boy as a puppet. And a curse from a demon is just anything that is not inside of a human body. You can't say it's a soul, because we're the only souls that are human inside of human bodies, and a human body that is not alive is a zombie, and you never see that, but you can see someone brainwashed, and that's just someone who can't control what they're doing for a moment in time where they lose control, and they're considered crazy at that point, and they can hurt you or more people, and that's more dangerous than not having conscious of your body, where you're then possessed by a demon. And that's where you do demonic stuff, like try and hurt people or just call up more demons. That's what possession is. And you might know someone who's been possessed in their life, and it's no different than like a doll. But a doll's just fleshed out, and it's cooler if you're on top of a motor cart. It's not a motor cart, but the more that you have something like an elephant is synonymous to a giant truck. It's just like how the three clones were when it's the differentiation of the Triborg was the robots. The more the clouds are smaller shapes and even more different conformities, the more likely they can have odd combustions and make electron clouds. And the more that you can clean this with a spray, but it has to be more of a strong spray, and a biohazard thing is something that smells the condition of your body.
That must have been for a... Oh, that was for a delivery I dropped off. This is Jacob from Porta John, by the way. Sorry, but it's already dropped off. No, but I can pull up directions to that. I'm not really from the area. I can pull up directions to that though. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm on, I think this is 140.